Tom Cruise might love his adoring fans and isn't shy about spending time with them, but he also values his privacy and usually keeps his romantic life on the down low. Let's take a look inside his super secretive love life. Before Tom Cruise, the movie star, there was Tom Mapother, the high school senior. It would be another 4 years before the 18-year-old stripped down to tighty-whities and slid his way into superstardom. However, the crooked grin and easy charm were already evident. Diane Cox noticed both when she first met Cruise at their 1979 high school prom. Cox told the Washington Post, "I came out of the bathroom and with a bottle of booze and a huge grin, he was waiting there." As Cruise started auditioning for roles, they began spending more and more time apart. However, absence didn't make the heart grow fonder, and before long, the green-eyed monster reared its head.
"There's something missing here, don't you think?"
Cox told the Post, "He got very jealous, very overprotective. The intensity of the whole personality of Tom really put me off." They eventually split after Cruise discovered Cox was seeing somebody else. Tom Mapother kept his love life secretive even before he became the world-famous film star Tom Cruise. Despite dumping his high school sweetheart for seeing somebody behind his back, it appears Cruise was also sowing his wild oats during their relationship. While living in Los Angeles as a struggling actor, Cruise regularly enjoyed a Hollywood hookup, courtesy of Melissa Gilbert. The Little House on the Prairie star spilled the Tom Cruise tea during an appearance on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, confirming the two dated. She said, "It was when he first moved to Los Angeles, and I think I was 16. If Gilbert was 16 at the time, then it would have been 1980, and Cruise would have been 1 year into his 2-year-long relationship with Diane Cox." When Cohen pushed Gilbert for more details, Gilbert insisted, "I did not have sex with him. We made out, but honestly, there was no sex." Back in 1983, Tom Cruise may have had the moves like Jagger on screen, but he failed to make the cut when it came to busting a move off-camera. Heather Locklear gave the lowdown on her cringe-worthy night out with Tom Cruise and his Dirty Dancing debacle during a 2013 Chelsea Lately interview. After insisting it wasn't really a date, Locklear spilled on the evening she spent with Cruise. She said that after they'd finished a joint audition, they ended up hitting the town together because the actor didn't really know anybody in Los Angeles. Locklear claimed that it all started to go rapidly downhill after Cruise decided to reenact his infamous Risky Business semi-naked dance scene. Locklear said, "You know in Risky Business where he does that dance in his underwear and does the splits? We were dancing in a club and he went into that. You just kinda stand there and don't know what to do." When Handler asked if her night out with Cruise was just a one-day wonder, Locklear replied hesitantly, "I think so." The release of Risky Business in 1983 propelled Tom Cruise to fame. It wasn't just his movie career that was started, though. The film also sparked a 2-year-plus passionate relationship with Cruise's co-star, Rebecca De Mornay. De Mornay, 23, played a call girl who honed 19-year-old Cruise's bedroom skills, then helped turn his parents' house into a brothel while they were away on vacay. Their on-screen chemistry was electric, but they didn't start dating until after filming wrapped. De Mornay told Celebrity Page, "I thought he was very annoying when we first started. He was extremely annoying, but he came to grow on me because we wound up together for 2.5 years." As far as unexpected Hollywood couplings go, you can file Tom Cruise and Cher under B for bizarre. The Daily Mail reports that the unlikely lovers met at Sean Penn and Madonna's wedding in 1985. At the time, 23-year-old Cruise was just a few years into his career, but 38-year-old Cher was already a hugely successful superstar. According to the Washington Post, things took a romantic turn after seeing each other a second time at a White House function 2 months later. Cher told the Daily Mail there was an immediate spark, but they, quote, "didn't go out till way later." However, once they started dating, things turned pretty serious pretty quickly. She dished more during a Truth or Share game on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen in 2013. After being asked where Tom Cruise ranks on her all-time best lover list, Cher replied, "Well, he was in the top 5. Mimi Rogers drastically changed Tom Cruise's life course after introducing him to Scientology. Cruise told Rolling Stone in June 1986 that he'd met Rogers at a dinner party a year previously. He admitted, "She was dating a friend, and I thought she was extremely bright." In May 1987, the two married in a super-secret ceremony. People reported that the wedding was very small, intimate, and beautiful, and that Emilio Estevez acted as best man. Cruise admitted that Mimi introduced him to the controversial religion, but insisted that he joined on his own accord. Tom Cruise went on to develop an intense, long-term relationship with Scientology, but his marriage didn't fare as well. The couple split in January 1990. When Days of Thunder started filming in 1989, Tom Cruise instantly sparked with Nicole Kidman, despite being married to his first wife, Mimi Rogers. Kidman was equally dazzled by her handsome leading man. She told Vanity Fair, "He basically swept me off my feet. I fell madly, passionately in love." In December 1990, Kidman became the second Mrs. Cruise. For a while, Cruise and Kidman were Hollywood's golden couple. They adopted a couple of kids and starred in 2 more movies together, Far and Away and Eyes Wide Shut. But by February 2001, it was over. Cruise filed for divorce after 10 years of marriage, citing irreconcilable differences per Entertainment Weekly. Neither has publicly spoken about the reason for their split, but the finger's been pointed at Scientology, proving that the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else. Tom Cruise wasted no time moving on from his second failed attempt at marital bliss. Cruise was still with Nicole Kidman when he met Penelope Cruz on the Vanilla Sky set, but they insist they didn't become involved until after his divorce in 2001. The ink on his divorce papers was barely dry when Cruise and Cruz made their couple's debut at the Captain Corelli's Mandolin premiere. Their combined star power dazzled the red carpet, and Cruise loved that her new boo was basking in the spotlight with her. Cruise told Good Morning America, "He came and shared it with me. It was special for me that he wanted to share it with me that way." They dated for 3 years before splitting in January 2004. Once again, speculation was rife that Scientology was behind the breakup. Tom Cruise's love life had hit a low in 2004, with 2 divorces and several failed relationships under his belt.
It is an up-at-dawn, pride-swallowing siege!
So, Scientology reportedly stepped in to play Cupid and land him the perfect partner. According to Vanity Fair, Shelley Miscavige, wife of Scientology leader David Miscavige, was tasked with finding Cruise, quote, "a drop-dead beautiful true believer to share his life." Mark Headley, a former Scientology film studio exec, alleges an audition process was created. He claims he watched 3 to 4 minute audition tapes of young female Scientologists until they struck gold with Nazanin Boniadi, a 25-year-old second-generation church member. Boniadi reportedly had no clue she was being groomed to be Cruise's next squeeze. According to Vanity Fair, after a month of procedures, Boniadi dumped her boyfriend and signed a confidentiality agreement. She was then allegedly flown to New York, where she'd finally learned her fate. Cruise immediately launched an intense wooing offensive that resulted in Boniadi falling head over heels in love. She reportedly even moved into his house before being unceremoniously dumped in January 2005 for no apparent reason. Boniadi was then allegedly dispatched to Scientology's Mecca for counseling to help her understand why she just wasn't good enough to make the Cruise cut. Fresh off his Scientology matchmaking experiment gone wrong, Tom Cruise decided to reclaim his romantic destiny. It wasn't long before a stunning 33-year-old actor caught his eye. Sofia Vergara was still waiting for her break in Hollywood when she received a call from Will Smith, inviting her to a pre-Oscars party. When she arrived, Cruise was waiting and quickly made his move. As per Andrew Morton's book, Tom Cruise, an unauthorized biography, Cruise immediately went on the charm offensive. He bombarded Vergara with phone calls, flowers, and chocolates, and she was suitably impressed. However, things took a downward turn after Cruise suggested a trip to the Scientology Center. According to Morton, Vergara was being vetted to see if she was a suitable Mrs. Cruise III. However, a friend of Vergara's said that there was no way the devout Catholic would turn her back on her faith.
"Well, I thought he was a gold digger, so I chased him out."
Growing up in Ohio, Katie Holmes littered her wall with Tom Cruise posters. In 2004, Holmes admitted to 17 magazine that she dreamed about marrying her celeb crush one day. Oh girl, be careful what you wish for. Holmes' dream started becoming a reality in 2005. She met with Cruise under the guise of auditioning for Mission Impossible 3, but that was just a ruse. The starstruck Holmes was easy pickings for Cruise, who turned on the charm and swept her off her feet. It seemed like a fairy tale romance. Cruise and Holmes jetted worldwide, living a life of luxury, wining and dining in all the fanciest restaurants, and hobnobbing with the elite. Holmes even took Cruise's infamous Oprah Winfrey cray-cray couch-jumping cringe fest in stride. She converted to Scientology, and after just 8 weeks of dating, they were engaged. Cruise announced per People, "Today is a magnificent day for me. I'm engaged to a magnificent woman." 4 months later, the newly dubbed Tomcat were expecting a baby. Holmes gave birth in April 2006. By November, they were married. However, in 2012, it quickly went from a Disney dream to a Grimm's fairy tale after Holmes shocked the world and her husband by filing for divorce. After being blindsided by his 3rd divorce, Tom Cruise must have been feeling down. But when it came to looking for love, the actor definitely wasn't out. To help in his eternal quest to find the one, Cruise turned to Scientology again, and the church seemingly came up trumps with Yolanda Pecoraro. According to the National Enquirer, the 27-year-old Latinx aspiring actor was a devout second-generation Scientologist who'd been studying the religion since she was 13. A source claimed that Cruise had been splashing out some serious cash for Pecoraro to, quote, attend expensive Scientology courses at the Celebrity Center in Hollywood. They pointed out there was one hindrance to Cruise finally achieving true love, though: Pecораro's live-in boyfriend. In his tell-all, Tom Cruise, an unauthorized biography, Andrew Morton claims Cruise and Pecoraro first met back in 2004 in Spain. Morton alleges the couple dated briefly. Sadly, as history would appear to show, it wasn't meant to be, and Cruise was again back on the market. A lesser man might have thrown in the towel by now if they had a relationship batting average as low as Tom Cruise. However, this hopeless romantic's lust for love hasn't dampened one bit. Cruise was back in the dating saddle yet again in the summer of 2021, cozying up to Mission Impossible 7 co-star Hayley Atwell. As per Page Six, Cruise and Atwell had been working on the latest installment of the action franchise since shooting began in September 2020. It appeared that when it came to his leading lady, Tom Cruise was, true to form, all smiles and charm. A source told The Sun that the couple immediately bonded and just grew stronger after working together during COVID-19. The source said, "Lockdown and all the difficulties that came with it brought them even closer, and they've become fairly inseparable." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.